Good evening, everyone. Welcome along to the 12th interview that we're doing here on the SFC interview channel now. Here with Tom Pett. How you doing, Tom?
Yes, very well, thank you. Good. I'm looking forward to it. A bit nervous about the questions, but should be good.
Yeah. I'll tell you, I've done 11 of these already, as I was saying, and to be fair, yours isn't the longest one, and there's 4 sheets of paper there.
I'll take that as a compliment, I think.
Yeah,
we've had controversial.
We've had a few others. Robbo, I think it was about 6 pages worth. Robbo was.
I was going to say, yeah, I bet that might be a couple of pages.
Yeah, Lurdy was probably about 5.
Nice, yeah.
So yeah, and we've had a few others that are less than this as well. But yeah, anyway. So for question 1,
there you go. Go now, yeah.
Yeah. What made you join up with Stevenage in the first place?
It was when I was at Wealdstone. Actually, it was we just won the league. It was we hadn't. I think we just won the league. We had a few more games to play. And I remember there was a lot of social media stuff at the time saying I was going here, there, and I had Wycombe, and these team were watching, that team was watching, and but nothing. And I got an agent near the back end of that season just to really, if I didn't have any interest, to sort it for me rather than let me worry about my football. And at that stage, I didn't really know how to handle any. After I think about a week of me being with him, he actually called me and said, "Right, you've got about 3 or 4 clubs here that have been watching you for a while, are interested. One of them, Stevenage." And as soon as they said Stevenage, I thought, well, that would be absolutely ideal. I realised they had just been relegated from League One, or they were going to get relegated from League One to League Two, and it was only 20 minutes from my house. So he said, they want you in on trial this week. Is that going to be a problem? And it was Gordon Bartlett was manager at Wilson at the time. We'd already won the league, and I remember calling him and saying that Stevenage want me on trial. Would it be okay if I miss training this week? And he said, absolutely, 100% go for it. And he was very supportive. So I went in. I think I went in 2 days. It was Monday, Tuesday.
Yeah, we're actually losing you there, Tom. I don't know what the signal's a little bit in and out.
You're losing me. Do you know what?
Yeah. It's a little bit jumpy. Yeah.
Yeah, the signal's rubbish. Let me go inside. It might be a bit better upstairs.
Okay. It sounds clearer already, so.
Yeah, it'll be better in here. It's me. Be a bit better in the computer room. That might be better in here.
That's it. That's clear now. Yeah.
That a little bit better.
Yeah, it's all good. Yeah.
There you go, Rob, man. So yeah, as I was saying, I got a call from my agent said they wanted to take me on trial. Rang Wealdstone's boss and Gordon Bartlett. He said, "Yep, go for it. Don't worry about missing training." And went in on the Monday, trained for 2 days under Graham Wesley, and I heard all the hype about Graham Wesley of what's training like and this. And I remember the agent saying to me, "Look, I've got he had a few players there at the time, and he said it's not going to be easy. It's probably the toughest trial you go into, and it was one that I won't forget. I remember doing 5v5 on a full pitch with John Messinio, Darius Charles, these absolute animals, and I'm standing there going, Jesus Christ, surely this isn't what professional football is like, playing 5v5 on a full pitch." But I remember Graham was very good to me. He was, come and spoke to me before and after, and Dino Mamria was the assistant manager at the time. I thought I put a good account of myself forward. That was Monday and Tuesday, and left the training ground after that, and I went away. I think I was in America that summer, and I remember getting a call from my agent saying Graham Wesley wants you to go and see him. So I think it was about a week before I was going to America. Sorry, he said Graham Wesley wants you to go and see him in his office. I thought, oh no, I remember saying to me, "Can you not just ring me and tell me?" I'm like, "Don't worry about it." And he said, no, look, go and see what he says. So I went in, and I remember him sitting there and said, "Look, did really well in the trial. Seen videos of how you've done this season, and we actually want to offer you a professional contract. And I remember where the sofa was in that room, where his desk was, and I remember thinking, no way, like this can't be happening. So it was a bit surreal because I didn't actually think anything was going to happen at the time, and to hear him say that, and my life did change in that instant, and I'll always be forever grateful to Graham for the opportunity he gave me. I wouldn't be here without his shall we say gamble that he took on me.
Yeah, very much. Obviously, you were non-league at the time with Wellstone. So how did you feel making the step up into the Football League? Was that kind of a big challenge for you?
Yeah, I think Graham did help me on that, and I think going in, he used to, after training or after the pre-season games that year, I remember he used to call me or text me and just say, how did you find today? Or you did really well. It was just a confidence thing, and he was very good in not overtraining me. I think there'd be days where he'd say, right, look, you're having a day off today. Your body's not used to full-time training. You take the day off today to come in, do some gym. Don't be on your legs again. And I think he eased me in well. I think so. The training side of it was hard. Don't get me wrong, and it's still the hardest I've worked under a manager. But it was good for me, and that first season will be one I remember for a long time. And I think it was because we was successful that season, getting into the playoffs. And we had a good team, some good players. And I look back now and some of the careers that they've had. So it was good to share the change room with them, and I still stay in contact with some of them now. So it's you always make friends in football, even ones that you've played with in the past. So no, I felt that I comfortably made that step. It was hard, don't be wrong. It was tough. I used to sleep a lot, get a lot of recovery in from the sessions with Graham and with the games, because the games come thick and fast, and the tempo is obviously a lot different to what you're used to in non-league.
That's right. And then you've mentioned, you were there with Graham. Then Teddy come in as well for the second season. But before that, obviously, you mentioned about the playoffs there as well. What was that like for the playoff campaign? Obviously, going on to narrowly lose to Southend in extra time in the end of the second leg. But what was that like playing in that?
Yeah, I mean, most people don't know. I think Graham only knew at the end of the first game. Actually, the day before the playoff semi-final against Southend, I actually had food poisoning. I remember the Saturday morning, waking up and being sick all night. I couldn't sleep, and I remember telling my family about it, and they said, "You reckon it's just nerves?" I said, "It's not." I said, "I'm not nervous. Like, it's just not." I said, "I promise you, it's not that." I'd actually had some chicken the day before, and obviously hadn't cooked it right, and didn't get an hour's sleep that night. Was sick all night, and I actually didn't tell Graham. I actually went to training. I told the physio, I said, "Look, just try and get some sleep on the bed," because I was still just couldn't keep anything down. Managed to play 45 minutes. If you go back and look, I actually got taken off at half time. I just couldn't play. It might have been just after half time. But
of the first leg.
Yeah, of the first leg.
Yeah.
And I just could not. I remember playing and thinking, I've got no energy here. And I remember just after being so he was let's just say he was pretty annoyed with me for not telling him. But obviously, as a person, your first year as a professional, you're not the one person you can't call up your manager and say, "I'm sorry, I've been sick," because the first thing he's going to say is, "Well, are you sure you're sick, or are you just nervous?" And then it was looking back now, I should have just called him and said it. And if he's going to try and say I was too nervous or being a wimp, then that's so be it. But that wasn't the case, and I actually did myself more harm than good trying to play. But the second leg, obviously, I didn't start because of that performance, and also still hadn't had a proper week's training. But I think I come on for Chris Whelpdale that game, and ended up scoring that game. So maybe it was the right move from Graham to do it. But yeah, to score in that game was obviously one of the goals which I'll remember forever. Unfortunately, it didn't take us to where we wanted to go, but we gave it a good go. And I think in the end, their maybe quality shone through a little bit more than ours.
And obviously in the first leg there's the big incident of Bira Dembele and Michael Tinlin. Yeah. So what was that like, sort of seeing that happen on the pitch?
I mean, it obviously happened so quick. So you didn't, looking back, you can't really remember too much. And it all was a bit of a blur. But you come off and you see the pictures and the videos, and people still ask me about that now. But it's funny because now you now I'm playing with people that were playing for Southend at the time. You end up going to speak, and everyone knows about it. Everyone's like, you talk about, do you remember when Timlin and Bira had their head collision? And I ended up, like, I talked to Tim's about football. I've seen him when he was at Stevenage when I come to play against or watch. I'd always chat to him. So it's funny how football always works out like that. But it was, a big collision, and the noise it made was wasn't quiet. Should we just put it that way?
So we've got a couple of messages in the chat here. Let's have a look. We've got this one from Stuart. Is it true that Pett will tear you apart again?
Depends who I'm going to tear apart. I mean, hopefully it won't be Stevenage, but that song, obviously it's the first song that got sung about me as a professional. So that song's nice, and nice to hear back when you see some highlights of yourself, and one when maybe you can tell your grandchildren about that you had a song sung by 3,000-4,000 people every Saturday afternoon, which is nice.
And then there's another one that's not actually from the chat there, but it was on the Borough Chat forum, and it was actually under Darren Sol. You were used to go down for the drinks break. So why do you reckon he picked you?
Yeah, I mean, it was under Graham as well, but Sally used me quite a bit. I think because Sally knew that I had played for Graham and how it kind of worked. I think, and I'm one of the more smarter players in terms of game management, and that's what I'd say one of my strengths are, the game management side of it, of when we've not just obviously fallen on the floor and feigning injury, but managing the game of when to pass and when to keep the ball and when to go forward. And I think he just trusted me in that sense, and I'm pretty smart in that. People can say, "Oh, you was cheating" or stuff like that, but it's just game management. You don't break the rules; you bend the rules to your advantage. And if it means that your team's under the cosh, I used to get a whistle from Saleh and just look over, and he just nod at me, and it's one that you just have to help your team get together again. You might have had the team on the team you're playing, attacking you for the last 15-20 minutes, and it's either you carry on and try and fight your way through it, or if you can bend the rules slightly to go down, get a bit of treatment, everyone get hydrated, and the manager can have a little chat, then you've got to use it. And I think yes, it's frustrating as opposition fans seeing it, but if you can do it and it helps you get that 1%, 2% advantage, then it's something that we definitely use. And I think, Saleh just trusted me that I'd do it at the right times, because I think when he was trying to shout over to maybe Kenners or Dale Gorman, maybe the language barrier, shall we say, might have been a bit of an issue for them, or Kenners maybe weren't the brightest spark in that sense. He was very bright on the ball, but I think he trusted me a little bit more in the game management side of it.
And then we've got some more questions here. So from Thomas, he said, let's have a look. Has that not come through yet? There it has. This man is the best Lincoln player ever.
Very, very nice. Thank you, Gibbons. I mean, I think he's one of the lads that comes on the stream. So he's and watches me games. So very nice of him. I think he's trying to. He keeps asking me who I'm signing for.
When it's the Southend deal done as well, there, yeah.
There you go. Yeah. There you go. I got him. He's a Southend fan as much as an Arsenal fan.
Okay.
But he wants me to sign for Southend, but we shall see.
And then we've got what do you think of the season ending prematurely there from Rye as well?
Good question. It's a bit of a tough one. I think it was the right decision. I think when you look at how many deaths have that it's taken its toll on people, the amount of people that died, it's unbelievable. You look at the numbers, and it's out of this world. Like it's affected not just a certain part of the world; it's the whole world is affected. I think when you sit back and realise how many people it's affected and how much it affects people's families and livelihoods, I think you've got to put football to one side and understand that it's this life is more than just about football. It's about making sure that people are well and people are staying safe. So I think it was the right decision, and they've obviously made the right decision in terms of playing the playoffs. Because I'm sure they wouldn't have done it with just with no research behind it and people backing them. That it was the right decision. So and it also, everyone that loves football loves to see it back. So as long as you get the right things in place to make sure it's safe, then I believe it was the right decision.
We've got another question here from Matt Farley as well. Matt's just said, have you been keeping an eye on how Stevenage are doing, and what do you think about the current situation as things stand at the moment?
Yeah, I mean, it is definitely a result that I look for when you get back on the coach after your own game. Most of the time when you've won, because I think when you lose, you don't turn your phone on. But especially when you won, you look through the results, and it was always, can I look at Stevenage, can I look at Willstone's results? And it's a shame because when I first saw the signing Stevenage were making, the experience they were bringing in, I think no Stevenage fan or no fan in the Football League thought that they'd be where they were. But obviously, in the end, they were there for a reason, and it's such small margins. And I used to listen to the interviews that Dino used to give, and then who's in charge now? Revs, and there's a few other people in charge. So I used to listen to the interviews still, and because obviously as a player, I went at Stevenage for a few weeks. I was there for a good couple of years. So it's a team that still is in your heart. And my dad and my sister I think went to 3 or 4 games this year to Stevenage. So it's not just a club that I play for. It's a club that, as a family, you support. It's still one of my closest local clubs. So yeah, it's a shame, and I don't know the ins and outs of it, so I'm not going to put my neck on the line and start making comments which might get back to other people. But I think it was one that I saw that Stevenage it got announced, so they're not going to get relegated, and Maxfield were, and then suddenly it changed that they wasn't, and then they were, and I think it's still going on now, right? It's not 100% confirmed that.
No, that's right. They're still, they're still not too sure what's going to happen right now. It still could go on for another few weeks yet, at least.
Yeah, which is great. So from what I gathered, it was to do with Maxfield's money that they're paying players, and they didn't have enough money to pay players. And I think, did they get a points deduction before? And
so they've had a couple of points deductions, and now I think they're only 2 or 3 points ahead of Stevenage now. Right. And Stevenage have played a game less, and I think they had 7 or 8 of those teams directly above to play as well.
Yeah, and the problem is, you never, with the situation as it was, you're never going to please everyone, and that's at the bottom of the tables and the top of the tables. The teams that was in the playoffs that now aren't in the playoffs, and it affects so much. It doesn't just affect which position you're in. It can affect like people's lives, and it's people's lives and careers that you're playing with. A player that suddenly will have to drop out of the Football League, their money will be cut by a certain percentage because they're in their contract, and they're suddenly earning a lot less. Can they then pay the bills? Can they then afford certain things? And no, I'm not saying it's all about money, but I'm just saying that part of it affects a lot of people, and to go off just saying points per game or however they've done it's harsh. And if there was a way to say, right, go on, and Stevenage, you play Maxfield on a level playing field, a neutral stadium, and see whoever wins stays up, that it's still not fair, because there'll still be people that are arguing that it's not right. So I think whichever way they go with it, you're going to upset some people. Obviously, yourself and I would love Stevenage to stay in the Football League.
Absolutely, yeah.
Because so let's keep our fingers crossed, and I'll make sure I keep up to date with it, because as much as everyone else does, I want them to stay in the Football League too.
And you've mentioned there about players might having to sort of drop down a level. I don't know what you've seen about like the squad release, the players that have been released. They've released the likes of Parrott and Byram, and Kennedy has gone now, and there's a lot of players there that have come to the end of their contracts and are not being offered any new deals.
Yeah, and I think it's hard for clubs. I think I'm in that situation now. I'm out of contract, and I think there's over 1,000 players that are out of contract. It's tough for clubs as much as it is for players. You got to think, as a club, they don't know their budget for next season with how many fans are going to be in the stadiums. They don't know if 10% is 100% that are going to be in the stadiums. So I think it's hard for clubs to suddenly offer players money which they might not be able to afford, and then you get into this sort of situation with what Berry got into. You start paying out Bill Macclesfield, for example. So it's hard, and I think the clubs have to look after themselves. They've got to look after number one. If suddenly in 2 weeks' time the clubs know one, if fans are coming to stadiums, but two, that we know when the league's going to start. I think that's another problem, which is amazing, which that hasn't been announced yet. But I suppose we've still got the problems with Stevenage and Maxfield, and the playoffs are still going on. So it's hard, and I think as clubs they've got to look after themselves. But at the same time, players like myself, like Kenners, like Joel, are out of contract, and it can come now another couple of months and the season has started. Then you've got over 1,000 players that were contracted that are now earning nothing. Have got no income, but have still got mortgages to pay for. So it's a really hard situation to be involved in. I feel sorry for the clubs, but also as a selfish point of view, you've got you want a contract, but it's trying to balance it. It's hard.
So yeah, definitely. Going back to when you started off at Stevenage, so you made your debut in a game against Hartlepool. How did you feel leading up to that game, and did you expect to sort of go straight into the team or not?
No, no, not at all. I remember going before that. I remember someone asked me what squad number I wanted. I think it was Jason Goodliff asked me what number I wanted, and I remember saying, I don't know, that whatever. And he went, well, 7. I went, 7. Well, yeah, right. Or 11. Or sorry, 11. I went, yeah, 7, 11, like whatever, Chase. I'm happy with that. And I couldn't believe that even then, that it still wasn't real that I was going to play for the first team. I still thought I might take a couple of months to then get into it. And then I remember Graham speaking to me before that first league game and saying, look, you've earned it. You've absolutely earned this role. Just go and play how you have, and you'll be absolutely fine. And I still remember that game, 1-0. Chris Weltdale scored late on, and it's it's a game which you won't forget. And anyone that asked me what game it was and what game I made my football debut, it was that game. I think I might have come off after 75 minutes, 70 minutes, but it was a good start to my professional career.
And then we've got a few just side comments here.
Yeah.
Both from Roy and actually from Tom as well. Who do you reckon is going to win between Wycombe and Oxford tonight? And who would you like to win?
Hard one. I know a lot of players in both teams, actually. I think as a neutral, I think watching it, I think I'd rather Oxford win. I think Oxford play the more appealing football. Playing against Oxford this year, they're a very good team, very, very good team, and they were the harder ones to study and try and work out how they play. Everyone knows how Wycombe play. Yes, they're very direct, but what they do is very effective. They wouldn't be in this position if they wasn't effective. And I mean, it annoys me when people say, "Oh, they're just negative. They're rubbish. They're rubbish." And it's like, well, they're not. You win games in football. You've got to be good to win football games, and they deserve to be where they are. I know players in both camps. I think as a neutral, I'd like Oxford, but as a personal one, I'd like Wycombe to go. I think the main one is Darius. He's worked so hard to be where he is. I remember speaking to him at the end of last season for Ronnie Henry's testimonial, and he said to me, "I think I'm jacking in. I think I'm retiring." I said, "No way." He said, "Yeah, I think it was his hip or his groin." And then to now to another year later, he's in the playoff final to go up to the championship. I think that's the things that you dream of, and good on him. If he can get there, then I'll be supporting him.
All right, yeah. So we've got some more comments here. This one from Russ. Thoughts on Lee Frexlington, who you played with at Lincoln?
Yeah, Frex, great lad, great guy. If there's a model professional, he'd be the guy that you choose. He'd be the first one in the training ground. He'd be the first one in the gym doing his rehab for injuries or injury prevention stuff. And he'd be the last one at the training ground. He'd eat right, sleep right, train to the best of his ability. So yeah, I got on really well with him, and I actually spent a lot more time with him than other players come the end of the season, just from training separately from the first team, just with him. So I spent a lot of time with him on and off the pitch. He's got an amazing family behind him as well. So I hope he can get a good contract because he deserves it. And I know he's trying, and I've spoken to him quite a bit recently. So no, great guy, and only good things to say about Frex.
And we've got one here from Matt as well, just going back to Stevenage again. With yourself out of contract, if Stevenage were to come in, would you ever consider coming back to Stevenage?
It'd be a hard one now, I think. Bearing in mind the situation with Steve, not knowing what league they're in. I think now when I won League Two, and it was in my head to go and challenge in League One and see if I could do it in League One. Unfortunately, from injury wise, and a few other reasons, it didn't happen. And I think in my head, it would get to me if in 10 years time or 20 years time I look back and think you couldn't cut it in League One. Yes, you won the league in League Two, and you did well there. Played 40+ games from centre midfield. And I think if I now drop back into League Two, yes, there are some good clubs, don't get me wrong. And it's not me being a snob saying, I can't go back to League Two. It's just in my head, I want to try if I can and be successful in League One. That's not me saying that I would never go back to Stevenage. Yes, I would love to go back one day and play, but maybe right now at 28, after winning League Two 2 years ago, maybe it's not the right time this summer. I mean, I think there was some interest in January. I don't know how strong. I did get a phone call about going on loan to Stevenage from Lincoln in January. But I remember saying the same thing at the time. I said, I just feel like it'd be too much of a backward step from where I've come to how successful I've been since I've left. And I hope people don't take that the wrong way, because I don't mean that in any bad way. I think as a professional, you need to try and push yourself as much as possible. And if it happens that I haven't got an offer and in League One, then I will look in, obviously, to go to League Two. But I think in everything you do in life, and it doesn't matter if you're working in football, if you're working in your local shop, you want to try and be the best you can be and excel to try and be the best at that, whatever you're doing. So it's a hard one, because it's you're playing with your heartstrings a little bit. That you do want to go back to a club that's close to your heart, but at the same time you want to try and challenge yourself. So it would be hard.
And then further up there, I've not seen where this was. I think it was. Let's see where it was. I think it was from Rye again. Let's have a look, see if I can find it. But it was basically regarding. Here we go. This one here. Who's the best player that you played with, and who you've played against as well, whether that's at Stevenage or just in your career in general?
Two players spring to mind. When I was at Wilson, Glenn Little, which I'm sure maybe the older viewers will know a lot more about than the younger ones. The amount of young people that say Glenn Little, Glenn Little, he doesn't play in the Prem, and he, when I was at Wilson, was one of the main reasons why we did so well. Very good guy, very good pro. He'd been there, done it, played in the Premier League. If there's people sitting there going, "Nah, I don't know Glenn Little," go on YouTube, watch him. He's
is he the one that played for Reading?
Yes, Reading, Burnley. I think he
yeah.
played Burnley in the Prem, or he's in the Champ. But very good guy, and learned a lot of him. Professionally, I'd say, and it's weird me saying a centre half, but Jason Shackle is probably up there with one of the best players I've played with. And that's strange. I think people think, oh, who's the best player you played with? Oh, he must score loads of goals, or he must beat loads of players. But to play with him the year we won the league is just a different to any other centre half I played with. Most centre halves in the Football League I've played with or played against are head it as far as I can, kick it as far as I can, get it away from the goal, and be that big, strong centre half that everyone wants in their teams. Shaq was different. He was, if the ball's coming in the air, if there was a chance he could bring it down and pass it to a centre midfielder, he'd rather that. He didn't want to smash it in the channel, didn't want to head everything. He would if he needed to, don't get me wrong. But you could tell he played at a high level. So yeah, to train with him and to play with him in training, he did not want to lose a passing drill, let alone a game. So you could tell why he played at the highest level. And hearing his stories that he played against Didier Drogba and Thierry Henry was special. So yeah, them two would be the players I played with. Against player that I played with actually against when I was at Stevenage, Arnautovic, when we played Stoke in the Carling Cup or Carabao Cup, it might have been called back then.
Oh yeah, I remember that. Yeah. He was he was on form that day as well, wasn't he?
Oh, unbelievable. Like, he's just strong, quick. Like, you couldn't get the ball off him. I think he played left wing and I played right wing. And I remember saying to Ronnie after, I said, it was getting nowhere near him. But he was one up there. And actually, when I played for Stevenage, Ravel Morrison was very good. And I think ability-wise, he was different class. He's a shame he isn't. Well, I suppose he's in the Prem, but he didn't go on to make it even bigger than he already has. More recently, when I played against Everton in the FA Cup, I think they had some good players. The likes of Bernard on the wing. It's smaller than me. I know that's near impossible, but he was tiny. And there was who's the winger? Lookman was very sharp. So I think you can look at all of them players at Everton and realise why they're Premier League players, and say they're the best players. But yeah, probably the Everton team that I played against, they were very good.
And then what about like Ronnie? Obviously, you mentioned Ronnie briefly there. What was it like playing alongside Ronnie, who is gone on and he's done wonders for Stevenage now?
Oh yeah, he's an absolute legend. I still speak to him most days. We'll chat. There's still a group of us that I've got a WhatsApp group that chat. Literally, it's called Borrow Boys, and that's because that's who we come from, and that's how we know each other. So he's he's a legend. In the amount of times he used to speak to me before games or after games about how we played. He knew when to have a laugh, and he was the clown in the training ground, but he also knew when to take it seriously. I think that's why everyone respected him so much, that you knew when he shouted out, you listened, but he'd also be the first one in the change rooms having a laugh. So like Frex, he's a great pro. Maybe not so much in the gym, because I don't think he's ever seen a gym in his life. But no, great guy, and nothing but good words to say about him.
And then we've got a message there from Matt as well. Who's the best manager that you've worked under? And you've worked under obviously Wesley, Teddy, Sol, the Cowley brothers at Lincoln.
I mean, all the managers I've played under are all very different. I think going through them, you've got Wesley that gave my first pro contract. The training was the toughest training I've ever been involved in. But he would have you like trained. You knew that if you said, "Oh, I think we'll win a game," he'd be like, "Oh, you think we'll win the game? You don't know we're going to win the game." So you had to be on your toes there. But as a manager, he was good. I think as a coach, he didn't do much coaching. Sarli, very good coach, very, very good coach. I think it was hard for him. That was his first proper managerial and job, and I think he'll be the first one and to say that he obviously made mistakes, but who doesn't make mistakes in their first job? He was good. I really enjoyed his sessions, and I still would happily pick up the phone to him and talk football and ask his opinion on things. He was very emotional, very emotional. I think fans got that, and I think that's how the fans warmed to him. But yeah, very good coach, very good manager, and I'm sure now he's even better than he was, because he's obviously got a lot more experience under his belt. Sheringham I miss Sheringham there. I got on with Teddy, I think, maybe not more than other players, but I think I understood him, the way he was trying to play more. I think because maybe my football brain shone out a little bit more than maybe other players have got maybe better athleticism and so on. I think I would still speak to him. I spoke to him probably a couple of months ago about what he thinks I should do, and so again, someone I would definitely speak to, and someone who's very approachable. Like, he used to join in some of the sessions. It used to be unbelievable watching him. Like, in the five-a-side, you could get near him. I thought he was very unlucky. I think injuries didn't help. I think he brought Schumacher in, who got injured so soon during his managerial job there. So I think he was very unlucky, and I think if the injuries would have gone the right way, I do believe that we'd have got it right, because the way he wanted us to play, with Kevin Watson as his assistant and Sarli as a coach, I think we had the right mixture of people there. But it's football and things.
What was it like under Teddy there as well? Like, not just sort of playing under him, but sort of learning off of him as well.
Yeah, I remember you used to he took me aside after a session and literally just worked on. It was so weird, so like one touch. It was one touch he was trying to get me to do, and I couldn't do it. And he kept saying, "Keep going, keep going." He said, "Like I wouldn't ask anyone else to do this." He said, "You can do it." And in the end, I understood what he was trying to do, and he just understood the game. And he would ask the team to do things, and I don't think everyone totally understood it. And you could tell maybe he was getting a bit frustrated with it, the fact that he didn't realize why we couldn't do it, or why most of us could do it and some couldn't. But no, I loved the time under him, and to say he'd been managed by Teddy Sheringham. I mean, not many people can say that, right? But I think of all the managers, I think the Cowleys are the ones which, if you said to me, right, you're at a club, who do you bring in? The Cowleys would be my number one. I think they had everything, and because it was two people, it wasn't just Danny, it was Nicky as well, and it was like good cop, bad cop. When one was giving you a rock and the other one would be putting his arm around you, and Danny did the side of the media side of it, and Nicky would do the tactical side of it and the coach side of it, and it just worked very well. I think it's easy for me to look at when the most success I've had was that season, and they were a massive part of that. So and they're the most approachable people. Even in January when I was looking to get out, they'd be ringing me saying, "Do you need any help? Can we speak to anyone?" Like, and they didn't have to do that. They were still managers at Huddersfield. So just shows what the kind of people they are, and I'm very thankful to the success I had, because it was down to them.
Yeah, they're great coaches. I've followed them. I'm an Arsenal fan as well, and I've seen when they played Arsenal in the FA Cup and that sort of run. They're just fantastic coaches who, they've got a long way in the game. They'll get up to the Premier League, no doubt.
Yeah, no, I agree. I definitely do. And they're in the Championship now. They're struggling with Huddersfield, but I think that hardly any of their players their team is their players. So I'll be interested to see. Hopefully they stay up. Fingers crossed they stay up. Otherwise they get into League One. I'll be giving them a phone call to get a contract there, I think. But no, I'm sure they'll do well.
And then in terms of with Stevenage there's one game that really stands out, and we were 1-0 down to Luton, and then you come on at half time and you assisted both of the goals. Yeah. So what was that like?
Yeah, it was from Matty Godden in the last minute, that wasn't it? He put it away. That was under Saleh, wasn't it? So
yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that goal for Matty, actually, I remember that quite well. But yeah, I think to not start the game, obviously you're frustrated, but I think you try and look past that. And Saleh's quite good at, if he wasn't started, he spoke to you and told you why, and always made you feel like you was part of the team, and that was important for when you're coming on as a sub. I think it's very important for managers to realise that. But yeah, I remember the second goal was taking out the pitch. I think it was a counter attack to get out the pitch. I could have shot myself or could have taken on the defender and scored. But I remember dragging, I think it was two defenders out the way, to then the weight of pass for Godders to be able to finish it first time. And everyone cue madness, having a big bundle up on the side of the pitch. So
is that what?
No, great goal.
Is that what Darren said to you? Did he sort of say, "Come on and make the difference"? Or
yeah, and I think as a player, you know that. I think when your manager's bringing you on, when you're maybe 1-0 down, you kind of want to come on at that time. I think coming on at 0-0, there's a bit more pressure on you. I think coming on at 1-0 down, there's no pressure on you. Yeah, what's the worst that can happen? You carry on losing. So I think to come on at 1-0 down, so I said, look, just go and get you've got the magic to get us back in this game, and thankfully it was 2 assists and we got the win.
That's right, and it was just as you say, it was crazy. The scenes and all that after as well. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So we've got some more questions here. What is the biggest accomplishment you want to achieve in your career?
The short-term goal would be to be successful in League One. I think, like I said earlier, to get into the playoffs with Stevenage, to fail in the playoffs, to then get back in the playoffs with Lincoln again and fail again. It was such a relief to finally get over that line in League Two. And that's not for me to say I've done League Two, so I'm too good for League Two. That's me saying that we did well then a couple of years and to finally get over the line. Now I think my target is do the same in League One. Can you find a League One club that suits me, suits the way I play, has the same goals as me, and that's to get promoted out League One and get into the Championship. That's my aim. Can I play in the Championship? Now, yes, that might, some people might find that me having a too long a goal. I think you've got to have short-term goals and long-term goals, and my long-term goal is to play in the Championship, and that's always been that. But my short-term goal is to just be successful in League One, and if that's playing 40 games in League One and finishing mid-table, yes, that's success. But the success doesn't come without hard work, and I know I've got to get that contract first, and if that's League Two, then let's take that League Two club up to League One and be successful. So yeah, my biggest accomplishment would be to play in the Championship, but I know there's a lot of work to go on before that.
And then obviously, what was I going to say here? Yeah, so you made over 100 appearances for Stevenage in your time there. I think it's about 130, 140 appearances there or thereabouts. What's it like to be in that sort of 100-plus club?
Well, it's amazing to think you've played that many games. And to say you've played that many games professionally, I always think I can only remember walking out that tunnel 10 or 20 times. But to say that you've walked out of that tunnel and played with your mates, because that's who they are, your mates in the end. But it's obviously a job to play that many games in front of fans that sing your name. It's obviously an unbelievable achievement. I think at the moment you don't realise it. I think when you retire in 15, 20 years' time and you're talking to your kids or grandchildren about it, that you're a professional and you've played that many games. I think the amount of people that can say, oh yeah, I played professional football, I played 2 times and I was on the bench for five games. But to say you've played 100 games for that team, it is special. It's very special, and I don't want to take that for granted.
And then we've got a message here from Russ. If you wasn't a footballer, what job do you think you'd be doing?
PE teacher would be the one that I went into. I was actually put this phone on charge before it runs out of battery. PE teacher is the one that I was going into before professional football. So I was actually in my last year of university, going into my last year of university to finish a degree to then become a PE teacher. So that would be the job that I'd probably be in now, and probably that I would want to go into after football. So we'll see what happens in that, because obviously things can change, and you might get a job in football, which would be nice. But
or you might just get hired by Twitch.
Maybe. I mean, that is another way I go. Or I could become a pro golfer, because the amount of golf I've been playing is I reckon is up there with many people. But yeah, realistically, it'd be to play, to teach, and we can do a bit Twitch on the side, I suppose.
So yeah, that's obviously what you've been doing during the lockdown. Gaming and playing the likes of Call of Duty and FIFA and stuff, Football Manager on Twitch. What's that? Is that just kind of something to keep you occupied, or?
It's something I've always played. Played in the PS4 or played on PS3 with my brother when we was younger. We used to play all the time, and I remember I played all year. I've played, and even before lockdown, I played, and it's never been something I got into, like watching people game or watching people on live streaming. I don't think I've ever really looked into it, and now you're in another world. You see how big it actually is. And I remember someone contacted me on Twitter and just said, "Why don't you stream? Like you're good at the game. It'd be good for people to get an insight into what a footballer does. And if ever anyone's on Twitch, they can ask me anything they want. I always give honest answers. It's quite funny seeing at the moment people coming into my stream and asking if I'm signing for their team and this team. And but I really enjoy it. It's I would be playing anyway, so I think it's nice for me to give a bit back to people and say, look, I'm not just a footballer. I think footballers can get tarnished with a brush of, they think they're above people and they think they're on a different level to people, so you can't contact them. Well, I think it's nice to give back to fans and show that, look, you can get this close, you can talk, you can say whatever you want to a point, but you can ask whatever you want, and I find it enjoyable talking to people about football or about anything. So it's nice. I really enjoy it.
And that's how we managed to get this interview, actually, through Russ that's in the chat
Correct.
there. So
Exactly.
he was able to sort that out, and we were able to speak about it and get it organised. So yeah.
No, top man, Russ.
Thomas is saying, who's your best viewer with the streaming? Be careful, you could lose him.
Oh, I could lose him. I'm gonna go with my little cousin, Harrison. He and Thomas would know why. My little cousin was only 11, and he come on the stream and said, "Can I play FIFA with you?" I said, "Yeah, of course you can." So we actually played like a pro clubs game. And we had 6 or 7 of us on the game, and everyone was watching a stream. We had about 30 people watching the stream. My little cousin was giving some abuse out to Thomas, and everyone was absolutely cracking up. It was funny. So that he'll be my favorite streamer. And I think most of my community will agree.
Okay, I don't know if that's going to answer Tom's question, whether he's going to be happy enough with that. We'll find out shortly, I'm sure.
I'm sure we will.
But no, so going back to the end of 2016, you were placed on the transfer list at Stevenage after failing to agree terms with the club. So did you receive any offers over that summer, and was it hard to stay at Stevenage?
Do you mean, did I receive offers from Stevenage, you mean?
Did you receive offers from clubs elsewhere?
Yeah, it was a hard time. I mean, I could, if I wanted to, well, not if I wanted to, but a player, you can end up staying at the same team for your whole career and be classed as a legend, or you can move about and be classed as, let's say, something else. You move too many clubs. I think at that stage I'd lived at home for however long, and it was a time where I wanted to go and try something different and live on my own. I wanted to live on my own or live with my girlfriend and try something different. And it's hard because you see things go out on social media and people ask you questions which you can't answer at the time when you're contracted. Now, it was nothing to do with money. I remember saying that to Saleh, look, Saleh, you can offer me what I'm going to get at another club. It's not to do with money. It's the fact that I want to go and challenge myself and want to live on my own. I want to do my own washing. I want to make my own dinners, have to go shopping. And it's just learning life. And it wasn't anything against Stevenage. I had unbelievable years at Stevenage. There was offers during that window to go places, but a lot of the clubs, because I was out of contract and it was only 3-4 months left of the season, a lot of teams said, well, we'll wait and take you for free, because Stevenage still wanted a fee for me, which is absolutely fine. I totally understood that, and I never moaned at anyone, moaned at Phil or at Saleh for that. But a lot of clubs wanted me to take me for free, and Lincoln come in very late on the transfer window, and we wasn't actually going to accept the deal because we was going to stay at Stevenage for the rest of the season. And I remember Saleh saying, "You'll play, like you'll 100% play. It's totally up to you. You will be on the transfer list." So I said, "Look, if that's what happened, I totally understand why. I know I wanted to make Stevenage money, and they put their money into me, and they gambled with me at the start. So for Stevenage to get a little bit of money for me at the time was nice. But yeah, Lincoln come in, I think 2 days before the end of the transfer window, and it all happened very fast. So and it's easy for me now to say I don't regret it, because I went on to win the league, and I wouldn't be where I am now without them.
No, that's right, and that's good what you're saying as well. Obviously, Lincoln put in that, was it a 5-figure sum in the end?
Yeah, I think it was. I don't think it was like straight up. I think within after certain appearances, and I think Stevenage got a fee when we got promoted. I'm sure they did. So, and I want that as much as anyone. Like, I want Stevenage to reap the rewards of me being successful.
And then so as you say, you went on and you won the league there with Lincoln. So you've done your part, being successful in League Two there as well. So
yeah, exactly. And that's I don't look back with any regret in the sense of when I left or how I left. I left a lot of good mates and good fans and a great football club. So to go, if I'd have gone to Lincoln and we got relegated 2 years later, might look back and think it was the wrong decision. But I look back and think it was the right decision, and It was a good time in my career to play for Lincoln, and like I said, not many players go on to be successful in their career and win leagues. And the medal that I won and the memories that I have from Lincoln will last a lifetime.
So I think we've touched on this a little bit earlier. So thoughts on Alex Revell and how he's looking at the manager? If you kind of know too much about, what's happened, where he started off, the first few games he's had.
Yeah, I know Revs through Stevenage when I come back and was chatting to him quite a bit. I think it's really good of Phil to give him a chance, a young manager. I don't think many clubs give young managers a chance these days. So he's going to make mistakes. People have got to understand that. So every manager has made mistakes. You look at the best. Alex Ferguson made big mistakes when he first went in. You've got to give managers time, and I know Phil will give Revs time, as much time as he can, because at the same time you want to be successful, but you've got to balance that out. So I think he's had some a lot of injuries when he first come in, but I think it's hard for him. I think he's sitting there thinking, "Cocking, it just needs a bit of luck and something to drop for him," because he will want to be signing more players than he probably is. Although he's brought in some very good players.
Yeah, he's brought in, I think, four or five players already. Well, which is, it's quite good to actually go in and get those players early. And if we are to drop down into the conference, they're good level conference players as well.
Definitely. Well, I know Innie Effion quite well before. He was actually on trial at Stevenage 2 years. Well, no, it must be longer than that. When I was at Stevenage under Sali. So he actually was on trial. So I know he can handle it, and they nearly gave him a deal back then. So good luck to him. I think he only lives around the corner from Stevenage, so it'll be a good move for him as well. So no, but yeah, on the subject of Revs, I'm looking forward to seeing how he does there, and I hope they give him enough time, which I'm sure Phil will, and I'm sure the fans will give him the right amount of backing, because he played with his heart on his sleeve when he played as a player for whatever team he played with. So I'm sure he'll be the same as a manager.
Absolutely, and you can see that Phil's backing him by allowing him to bring Lenny Lawrence in and stuff as well.
Definitely, yeah. Some big signings they've made, and like you said, not knowing what league they're going to be in, it's hard for clubs to sign. So for Stevenage to have done them deals already, says how they want to go. If they're going to drop down, they want to jump back straight up, which is the right move.
We've got a message there from Matt. What is your favourite goal that you've ever scored?
Hard, but I scored a goal against Yeovil for Lincoln. It was actually to get us in the playoffs. So that was one of my favourite goals. But I think my favourite goal was for Stevenage against York. Scored it from about 35 yards. It was from a short corner, played out to me, and I wasn't expecting it. And I remember getting it thinking, oh, well, I'm going to shoot it. If it goes over the bar, at least we can reassess and get back in our shape. And it just ended up flying into the top corner. And I remember I had some of my family travel all the way to York to watch that game. So that was nice. And it's a goal which if anyone ever says, what's your best goal? That's the one I'll show them.
And then was it that spell where you had, was it 3 or 4 pretty much solid consecutive games where you scored virtually every game? I think you scored, or was it 3 or 4, something like that? Yeah.
There was that. And then I think there was another year under Sali where I was on really good form and ended up getting a bad injury to my leg, but I ended up carrying on. But I've actually got a bad scar for that. I remember come back and scoring against Barnet. But yeah, at that stage I was scoring. I think I scored 3 and 4. You're right. And I think one like anyone says, once you get one, they all start flooding in. So it's nice to be a bit of form and goal scoring. It's always nice,
especially if you're scoring against Barnet as well, another local team.
Correct. And a few mates in the Barnet end of that game.
Yeah, we all love it if you come on and make a difference against Barnet or Luton. And you've done both, so there you go.
Exactly. Tick both boxes.
Yeah. Matt is saying, I remember. Oh, and what's he saying there? Yeah, at Newport. That was the 3-3, wasn't it? Newport away.
Was that? I think I might have scored 2 that game?
Yeah, I think you did.
Sure.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure I did.
I think it was a 3-3 draw. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was. So, I remember that is a long journey, and my family actually made a journey down there as well. I think they actually tried taking the second goal off me, one of the goals off me. I wasn't having it. I got both goals. I'll take it. But but no, it's a long old journey down there. Not the nicest pitches, to be fair. So
okay, it was a 2-0 win then. So you scored both of the goals in that game, yeah. Who was the 3-3 against? Hold on, let's have a look. I did make a note of it. There was a few.
I know which game you mean.
Yeah,
I know which game you mean.
I'm trying to think, but I know you scored a few. You scored against Portsmouth. You scored against Leighton Orient, Wycombe.
Yeah, Wycombe. Well, like most of the goals I can remember, most of them. Wycombe was the one I nicked the ball off that Dominic Gate, rounded the keeper and scored. So like, I don't take goals for granted. I think scoring goals is big, and it's one you can look back on them and watch when you're older.
Yeah, so I'm trying to think what the 3-3 was. Was that Leighton Orient? Was it? I don't know. Can't remember.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure what game that will be.
No, I'm sure we'll figure it out. Yeah, I'm sure someone will know. So in terms of currently being without a club, obviously, we just released from Lincoln. So where's next for Tom Pett then? Are you sort of said you want League One or?
Yeah, I mean League One ideally. I mean Premier League ideally, but realistically, League One. I think, like I said before, did win in League Two and I feel like I earned a chance in League One. For a number of reasons, it didn't happen this season. But if I can get a League One contract and prove myself and help a team be successful in League One, that'll be the ideal move. Ideally, it'd be to stay down south near family. However, like I've told everyone or my agent and anyone that's asked, is I'm happy to go wherever. So I'm not going to be one of them people that says, no, I can only play round here and I don't want to go anywhere else. It's an exciting time for me and my girlfriend to go and travel and see new places. So it's a few things in the pipeline. It's not enough to shout from the rooftops about. I think it's hard. You want to talk to people about it, but I think it can scupper deals and affect a few things. So we'll have to see. I think the next couple of weeks, once the league gets announced and once teams know how much their budgets will be, once they know how many fans are coming to the stadium, I think it'll start being a lot more activity in the transfer window, because I think some teams are making transfers, but I think once we hear a few more things from the FA, I think things will start to hot up.
And then you mentioned about Darren Sarll earlier, obviously playing under him. How do you think he's getting on with Yeovil?
I mean, doing unbelievably, doing really well, and they've assembled a really good team there. Obviously, the likes of Charlie Lee and Luke Wilkinson went down there, and I spoke to Chaz a couple of times, and he said it's like a really nice place in England to be. So
that's right. I spoke to Chaz as well. I think Charlie was my second interview I've done on this channel.
Really?
So and he was the first one I actually done via doing it this way, which is a lot better than the previous way, trying to do it through Zoom and stuff, which I was doing before, which didn't kind of work out that well. But me and Charlie had a really good chat for about an hour, and he was saying, lots of good things about Darren. So
no, he's very complimentary, and I can imagine it is down there. And I know he's on an absolute shoestring budget. So to get them where they have now in the league. They're still with a shout at the playoffs, aren't they? They're going to play the playoff game, are they? So
yeah, that's what Charlie said. I was 2-3 weeks ago. I spoke to him. Yeah.
So yeah, good luck to him, and I'll be fingers crossed that they can get promoted, because he deserves it. Sally, he's one of the hardest working managers that I know. So if he can get promoted, good luck to him.
Yeah, so it might be this one, the 3-3 home draw with Newport. I think it's that one. Yeah.
Ah, right. Okay. Yeah, it might be that then.
Yeah. Cheers, Matt. Thanks for that. Yeah. And John has said, when do you think you will hit partnership on Twitch?
When I get some more viewers, I reckon. I suppose Twitch is all about consistency. I think when you got to stream it most days, and I think when you build your community out, the people that come in and watch my stream are unbelievable. They're there day in, day out and support me in more ways than just chatting. I think they're really nice people, and the amount of people I've had good conversations with about not just football, everyday life, cricket, about their lives, my life. So it's interesting hearing other people's stories and how they get on in life. And we've got a Discord app which people can join, and you wake up in the morning, there'll be messages on there saying how's everyone getting on today and what's people up to, and it's like another you've made a community, and the bigger that community grows, the quicker you hit partner on Twitch, I suppose. But it's not, I'm not in there to make money and to hit partnership and stuff. It's like I said before, it's to give things back to the fans, and allow if a young kid that wants to speak to a professional footballer and ask how can I do this, or what drill's going to do, it's something to give back to him. So it's nice. But yeah, hopefully soon, John.
And you mentioned there about the Discord and the whole community, Phil.
Mm-hmm.
Have you followed Stevenage and sort of the sandwich deliveries that they've done in the local community through lockdown? Are you sort of seeing much about that?
I've seen little bits of it. Obviously, I still follow Stevenage on social media, on Twitter and Instagram. So it's for how hard it is to do in this, obviously in the pandemic that we've had, to still be able to take stuff out to people, and to be able to help the community. It's unbelievable. But that's always what Stevenage has been about, right? It's about helping the community and making the community come together. So it doesn't surprise me if you'd have asked me what club do you reckon it was, Stevenage would have been up there in my answers, definitely.
And then obviously, not just out and about in the community. There's a number of sort of things that they've been doing. The sandwich delivery has been the main one, but they've been out and about and just kind of generally supporting people. Through sort of telephone calls and all of that as well. So they're there sort of 24/7 really, or virtually anyway.
Yeah. Well, exactly, and they'll even if they affect one person's life, what they're doing is fantastic. So the amount of lives they would have affected, and would help the amount of families that are struggling in this pandemic that we're in now, is amazing. So good on them, and fair play.
And that's right. You've said that they've always been, a community sort of family-based club, and that's, what they've won. Well, Stevenage have won awards for that and all sorts of stuff. And
yeah.
I think they've just won an award for this as well. What they're doing at the moment for the whole community side of it. So
no, yeah, exactly. Like I said, fair play, and they deserve it. And I hope they get some more worldwide coverage for it, because the amount of work that they're putting in, which they don't have to do, it'll be off their own backs. So to put that work in and reap the rewards, I hope they get some more coverage from it.
Yeah, absolutely. And then let's have a look. I think we're pretty much towards the end of this now. Let's see. So yeah, you mentioned a little bit about Darren again. Just did you know much about Spencer McCall? And do you know much about his situation? Obviously, he's got the cancer.
Yeah, a little bit. I actually played against him when I was at Wealdstone. I think he was at Hemel when I played. Maybe no, Wingate and Finchley. That's where he was at. I actually played against him. I just remember the name Spencer from when people used to shout his name, and when I saw a picture of him, I was like, "No way! That is him who I've played against." And such a sad story, but for the amount of people that come together and raise money for him, and it's when you look at it, you realise there is good people in this world. I actually listened to a video Darren did earlier about it. I think he was saying how he was a second-year pro. Was it at Stevenage? Was it?
Yeah, that's right. I watched the same video not too long before we did this. So yeah.
So you can. It's when people come together in the football world come together. It's really nice to see, and doesn't surprise me that Darren's made the video and he's trying to support him as well. So no, fingers crossed him, and good luck to him, because what he's been through is traumatic, and you wouldn't wish that upon anyone. So I'm sure he's being strong, and his families are supporting him. But I think the support from the world, not just in football world, but the whole world, is helping him out, is helping him and helping him stay strong.
Yeah, absolutely. And we just want to wish Stephen all the best, really, as well. And hopefully he can raise the funds that he needs to get the treatment that he needs to get on the mend.
100%. I'm totally with you on that.
So yeah, I think that's let's have a look here. I think we're done, actually. Let's see. Yeah, we're good, actually, Tom. Yeah, we're all done, mate.
Top man.
Yeah.
No, I enjoyed that, mate. And if you ever need me again, you know where I am. And,
all right, cheers.
I'm always happy to come on and have a chat.
Cheers. Thanks a lot. Are you going to be streaming later? You wanna plug your stream at all? Or?
I would indeed. If anyone wants to come along, can ask me any questions which they've not been asked today. It's Pettzsta, PETTZSTA 91. I'll be putting it on my Twitter later. So if anyone wants to pop by and have a chat and have a little watch of what we're doing, you're more than welcome. Everyone's welcome. It's free to come and watch. So come and watch and see what we get up to.
All right, and I'll catch up with you there. I'll see you there later on.
Top man, I'll see you then.
All right, see you later, Tom. Cheers,
Cheers,
mate.
Thank you, bye.
Cheers, thank you. Bye.